So it took me a little bit to finally be able to complete the Hellraiser franchise with the latest remake, which I will go for a remake, that's how it seems. That came out in 2022 last year, and I don't have access to Hulu, so it took me a while to get access to that, to be able to see the film. And yeah, this is the final one. This is the last one to come out, and right off the bat, I heard a lot of mixed things on this one, but I had a phenomenal time with this film, and I think it is a fantastic remake. David Bruckner did an amazing job with taking all of the elements of Hellraiser and the idea and concept of it and just elevating it to a tremendous level. And I mean, in comparison with Evil Dead Rise, which I'm pretty sure also came out in 2022, which I also have a review for on this channel, very big differences in opinion. And it's funny because the majority of people that I follow on YouTube and other channels and other review, blogs and stuff like that, favored Evil Dead Rise over this one, and I'm total opposite. So I had a really good time. I think Pinhead does phenomenal. I apologize because I forget the actress's name, but she did great in stepping into Pinhead's shoes. No complaints there. The gore is very good in this movie. The kills are very good in this movie when they do happen. It's not throughout the entire thing. There's a lot of drama that goes on with this film as well. And I'm going to keep the spoilers extremely light on this because I usually don't do deep dives with films that I watch for the first time. I like to just give my general thoughts on them because first time watches, it's hard to do deep dives on them, so I don't take notes. This is all, I'm winging it. So it's just going to be basically what I thought of the film. But and like I said, I'm explaining details, but I'll keep the heavy stuff private and won't talk about it too much. So like I said, we get a dramatic story with this because we're dealing with this character named Riley, who's a recovering drug addict, and she is staying with her brother, and her brother knows her history of being a drug addict. And when she starts to date this guy named Trevor, her brother, whose name is Matt, gets very suspicious and worried about his sister, and he's very, very overprotective to an overbearing level, but you can understand because of their character dynamics and behaviors that he's doing this out of love and not out of, controlling kind of thing. His heart's in the right place, but he's, it's hard when somebody is trying to care for a drug addict because usually that person is not one themselves and they don't know what it's like to be in that kind of headspace. So he's doing the best he can, although he can't do the best he can because he's human and doesn't know what it's like I said. Her boyfriend is not the greatest guy himself, and he lures her into not drugs, but this heist situation where he wants to go steal a bunch of products from some like storage facility kind of thing, and he finds the puzzle box. This is where they find the puzzle box, and then she happens to be the one who opens the puzzle box, and it sets her off into the whole, raising the Cenobites, raising the Hell World, all that fancy stuff that we all know, we've all known to come and love from the Hellraiser franchise. Now, one thing I love is the puzzle box itself this time too, because it's way more technical than the original puzzle box, just being a cube and being kind of seemingly simple to solve. It basically solves itself. This one has like 6 stages to it, so it is an actual puzzle and like a level to it. And the puzzle box always is also designed like it's very weaponized. So if you make a mistake or if you solve one of them, the box will have like trinkets in it which are knife shaped or like dagger shaped kind of thing, where it will cut your hand and release blood into the box, which is part of what brings these new elements and levels and realms and dimensions of this hell world manifesting into the real world. So every time the puzzle is solved in one of these 6 times, the world as we know it changes into this hell world and involves the person who basically solved it last, and it's always like targeting someone kind of thing. So not quite a slasher movie, but you do see like characters being picked off one by one in the slasher style. I don't consider Hellraiser slasher movies though, but you know what I mean with the concept. I like how this film opens too. Very random. It opens with Belgrade, Serbia, and it's got like that booming score that you see in Sicario, where it's really like intense. So very, very different from a traditional Hellraiser opening, but really cool at the same time. And the Hellraiser score itself is back in this in full form and like modern, not modernized, but changed up a little bit, updated, you could say. There you go. The updated Hellraiser score is fantastic, and they hit all the tropes. I love the climax of this film. It starts to pay homage to the second film when they enter the Hell world, but it's way, way more advanced and looks 1,000 times better. There is no comparison at all. And I thought the characters were cool, and I like the whole aspect of Riley and her addiction to drugs because it goes into like, is she hallucinating kind of territory? Nobody takes her seriously. She has a history of, not making sense because of the drugs. It's kind of like the Evil Dead remake where they used her drug addiction to kind of carry along with the plot, where people have a reason not to trust her and the way she's behaving and not take her seriously kind of thing. They do the same thing with Riley's character in this movie, and I really like that. All the Cenobites are 10 out of 10 the way they look. The classic ones are back. You got the Chatterer and the woman with like her head peeling kind of thing, and it's hooked onto her shoulders or whatever. And then of course the main, like Pinhead, the hell priest, the priestess in this case, really gives Doug Bradley a run for his money, and I feel kind of I like I'm in kind of a way betraying the Hellraiser franchise by saying that, but I mean she really does step into Pinhead's shoes. Like she gives it her all and gives it her own, and she's not like Doug Bradley. She doesn't like replace Doug Bradley, but she gives it her own Hell Priestess vibe and is really creepy and intimidating, and the way they did her voice and everything, really, really good stuff. I will mention the villain too, or one of the main villain anyway. I think his name is Raoul Voigt or something like that. His character is introduced, and I haven't read The Hellbound Heart, so I don't know how much is in this movie that's in the book, but he has this like trinket attached like right through himself that's so interesting. It was the most interesting design to a character because he's entirely human, but there's this device that goes like right through his chest, basically from back to front, and it's like it looks like gears. It's kind of like attached to his nerve endings or his tendons or something like that, and it keeps spinning and spinning, and every once in a while, it almost acts like a wind up clock kind of thing, like those old school clocks, and every once in a while it'll start spinning and all the gears will like wrap his nerves around the metal. It's really gross, but it's really interesting because you can like feel the pain when you watch this thing start to contract, and himself he plays a really good villain just as his character, and then you have his design, and I don't know. I haven't seen a design in a while that cool looking and that unique. It's very, very creative what they did to the villain. And I did hear that Clive Barker actually had a lot of like involvement in this movie kind of thing. He produced it, but he had some say with how things went. So like I said, I think they did a really great job with everything, you know, plot wise, and the directions that they decided to go with the film. And I thought the characters in it were cool. The only thing that I kind of had to read up a little bit is the ending, and how grim the ending was because of a character decision, which kind of like wraps up the movie in a sense and gives the ending its theme kind of thing. But it's uber depressing and dark, and it just leaves you on a sour note. And I had to look into it a little bit, and I kind of got it once I started thinking about it. And it's still grim, but it like when it happened, it didn't make much sense to me. But and it was kind of underwhelming in just the sense that like I would rather see like literally anything else or make any other decision. But like I can't hate on the movie for ending dark because that's not a fault on the film. It's just the direction that the director wanted to go. So it ends dark in a couple ways too, because when you think the movie's gonna end, they play off for another 45 seconds to a minute on, let's just say, a Cenobite being created, and that's very, very brutal in itself as well to top the depressing theme of the ending already that you had. So it ends dark. Let's just say that. But I still ended up giving this film a 4.5 out of 5 because I thought it was just a really great return to form, and it's a shame that this film hasn't been released on Blu-ray or 4K because I'd be buying it. I have the other 10. I just need this fucking film. But it is what it is. Hopefully, we'll see it in physical media at some point. But as for now, it's too bad it's just Hulu streaming it. But as for now, it is what it is. But I really, really loved Hellraiser 2022, and I certainly recommend it, giving it a shot at least, because although this film is 2 hours, you can waste your time with a lot more. And I mean, if you like my opinions in any other film, then at least give it a shot because it is really, really good, and I had a lot of fun with it. So subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.